Imagine you're drifting along a quiet stretch of the Amazon. The water is thick and dark, impenetrable to the eye. Suddenly, a splash. A giant, silver-green mass explodes from the water's surface, gulps air like a whale, and vanishes again. You've just met an Arapaima. This isn't some modern fish with flashy colors and sleek design. No. The Arapaima looks ancient. And that's because it is. This giant predator, some call it the river dinosaur, has been haunting South America's rivers for at least 23 million years. In evolutionary terms, it barely changed. And that's exactly why it's so interesting. This is a creature that has survived tectonic shifts, ice ages, and even the rise and fall of civilizations. It has outlived predators, prey, and environmental shifts that wiped out many others. That means every time an Arapaima surfaces to breathe, you're witnessing a direct link to an ancient world. It's not just a fish, it's a living chapter of Earth's history. How does a fish survive for millions of years without needing a makeover? Why hasn't it gone extinct like so many other giants of the past? Today, we dive deep into 5 reasons the Arapaima is one of the oldest, weirdest, and most resilient creatures still living among us. Let's start with the obvious. The Arapaima looks like something out of Jurassic Park. It's huge, really huge. Adult Arapaimas can reach lengths of over 3 meters, 10 feet, and weigh up to 220 kilograms, 485 pounds. That's heavier than a vending machine. But what makes it so prehistoric isn't just its size, it's its design. Covered in thick, mineralized scales that gleam with a metallic sheen, the Arapaima looks like it's wearing chainmail. These scales are so tough they can deflect piranha bites. Let that sink in. It swims with piranhas and shrugs them off like mosquito bites. The scales are made of a collagen core layered with mineralized hard tissue, essentially, nature's own body armor. Researchers have even studied Arapaima scales to inspire better military materials. And then there's the head. Flattened, bony, with upturned eyes that give it a perpetual, "don't mess with me" glare. This is not a cute, cuddly goldfish. This is evolution's answer to, how do I not get eaten for millions of years? Its body shape is designed for slow, sneaky movement in still waters, where it ambushes prey like a lurking submarine. It's not fast, but it doesn't need to be. In the Amazon, patience and armor go a long way. More impressively, its design hasn't changed in millions of years, because it hasn't needed to. The Arapaima's form and function are so well adapted that nature basically put it on autopilot. It's a living blueprint for survival, so efficient that time itself forgot to redesign it. And when you look at its lineage, you realize that it shares characteristics with fossil fish from the Miocene epoch. That's not evolution stagnating, that's evolution perfected. Here's where things get wild. The Arapaima breathes air. Not like a dolphin or a whale. It's a fish, with lungs. The Amazon's waters are warm, acidic, and often low in oxygen. For most fish, that's a nightmare. For the Arapaima, it's Tuesday. Every 15 to 20 minutes, it rises to the surface and takes a gulp of air through a modified swim bladder that functions like a lung. Without that air, it would drown. Yeah, drown. A fish that can drown in water. Let that twist your brain. This air-breathing ability doesn't just keep it alive, it gives it a massive evolutionary advantage. While other fish struggle in oxygen-depleted waters, the Arapaima thrives. It can colonize murky backwaters, flooded forests, and even ponds that dry up into puddles. It's also one of the few fish that can survive for hours out of water if its skin stays moist. In fact, in traditional Amazonian fishing, locals sometimes carry live Arapaimas to market without any water. The fish just keeps breathing air. Try that with your pet goldfish. This adaptation makes it a master of survival in changing climates. If an area floods and then dries up, the Arapaima can simply find a new pool or puddle, breathe air, and wait out the dry spell. It can even handle being stuck in isolated flood zones, where oxygen levels drop so low that other fish suffocate. While others die, the Arapaima just waits. Its air-breathing lung is a vestige of an ancient era, linking it to early fish that crawled onto land millions of years ago. In a sense, it's not just surviving in water, it's carrying a bit of Earth's transition from sea to land in its chest. The Arapaima isn't a picky eater. It's a top predator with the attitude of a vacuum cleaner. In the wild, it preys on fish, crustaceans, and even birds that venture too close to the water's surface. It's been seen lunging out of the water to snatch unsuspecting animals from branches. When it strikes, it creates a powerful suction force, like opening a vacuum in a soup bowl. 1 second, you're swimming peacefully. The next, you're inside a prehistoric fish's stomach. Its mouth opens incredibly wide, creating negative pressure that pulls in prey. There are no flashy teeth here, just brute suction power backed by hundreds of pounds of muscle. And get this, young Arapaimas are protected by their parents. That's rare in the fish world. Males carry the babies in their mouths, releasing them when danger passes. Evolution didn't just make the Arapaima tough, it made it parental. That kind of behavior hints at intelligence and long-term survival strategy. Scientists believe the Arapaima's feeding method hasn't changed in millions of years because it doesn't need to. Its method is simple, efficient, and deadly. One gulp, one snack. That's the kind of feeding behavior we see in fossil records from long-extinct species. Even more fascinating, its digestive system is so efficient that almost nothing is wasted. Everything it eats is converted into energy or mass. That means less waste and more survival fuel. Its food intake is like throwing coal into a steam engine, every bite counts. And it's not just wild prey that keeps it going. In captivity, Arapaimas have been known to eat fruit, insects, and even small mammals. It's opportunistic, adaptable, and relentless. Traits that spell long-term dominance in a challenging ecosystem. Here's a paradox: the Arapaima is ancient, and yet, we still don't fully understand it. For decades, people thought there was only one species. But recent studies suggest there could be at least 4 distinct types of Arapaima, and they're still arguing about it. Why? Because the Amazon is huge, murky, and full of secrets. It's hard to study a fish that lives in flooded forests the size of small countries. Also, the Arapaima's fossil record is shockingly sparse. This thing has been around for millions of years, but we've found barely a trace of its evolutionary story in the rocks. That's like finding a 100-year-old person with no childhood photos. Scientists consider it a living fossil, not just because it looks ancient, but because it seems to have paused evolution. Its body plan is so efficient, it hasn't needed major changes in millions of years. That's the biological version of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Genetic testing is revealing subtle differences between Arapaimas from different regions, hinting at hidden species we never knew existed. It's a real-time mystery of taxonomy, unfolding right now. Are we looking at one legendary fish, or 4? Maybe more. This also makes conservation tricky. If we don't even know how many species there are, how do we protect them all? It's a race against extinction, fueled by incomplete data and a vast jungle that doesn't easily give up its secrets. The Arapaima might be a relic, but it's also a puzzle. And solving it could teach us more about evolution, survival, and our planet's forgotten past. For all its ancient power, the Arapaima faces a very modern threat: us. Overfishing, habitat destruction, and pollution are all chipping away at its numbers. In some parts of the Amazon, Arapaimas have vanished completely. Their slow reproductive cycle makes it hard for them to bounce back. But there's hope. Local communities are now involved in protecting Arapaimas, using traditional knowledge and conservation programs to monitor populations. In areas where protections are strong, Arapaima numbers are actually rebounding. They're also a potential source of sustainable food. One Arapaima can feed a family for days, and they're easy to farm. The real question is, can this ancient fish adapt fast enough to survive humanity? Conservationists are racing against time, building hatcheries, enforcing no fishing zones, and educating local youth about the importance of preserving this living fossil. Scientists are also trying to study its genetic diversity to better understand how resilient these fish truly are to environmental change. Because if the Arapaima can't survive us, what does that say about the other ancient creatures we haven't even discovered yet? Maybe that's what makes the Arapaima so fascinating. It's not just a relic of the past, but a test for the future. What do you think? Does the Arapaima deserve the title of living fossil? Would you swim in waters knowing one of these giants is beneath you? Drop your thoughts in the comments, like the video if you learned something cool, and share it with your most curious friends. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into Earth's most bizarre and brilliant creatures. Until next time, stay curious, stay wild, and remember, the Amazon still hides secrets older than time.